Books are gonna be hyped. Okay, do not come at me for this.
About to leave, already packing.
Hey guys, it's Elle, and today we are going to be doing a recommendations video, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love with You, Rex, and I'm super excited. Ooh, nothing happened. And I actually got a new camera, and so I hope everything is looking good. I'm really excited. But let's get into the video and let's get started. So the first book is one of my all-time favorites, and that is Culty by Mariana Zapata. This book, y'all, is so amazing. It's a slow burn, age gap sports romance where the heroine, she falls in love with her coach, and so Sal, our main character, she has always idolized this one soccer player, and he becomes her a coach, and it's very like Grumpy Sunshine, and I felt like it really he didn't mean to fall in love with her. He was really the one who really started their relationship, but not like creepily or anything. Like, she wanted it too, but she didn't know if he did, so she waited it out because she thought it would be inappropriate, because they were first like hate to love, friends to lovers, and then they got together, and it was so good. This book is amazing. It's chunky, but I love it. Okay, so the next book is Him by Serena Bowen and Elle Kennedy. This book is a sports romance, another sports romance, but our main characters, Jamie and Ryan is gay, and he kind of came on to his friend one summer at this summer camp they both go to, and he got really freaked out because he didn't know if his friend was gay. Well, he thought his friend was straight, and so he never talked to Jamie again because he thought it was awkward and that he came on to him, but Jamie never felt that way. And then they go back to the camp years later and meet up by accident, and they kind of spark up a romance, and Jamie is exploring his sexuality, and it's so good. I love how patient Ryan is, and he never pushed Jamie to do anything, and I loved that about Ryan, and I love these characters. I love this book so freaking much. Definitely go pick it up. Elle Kennedy is an amazing author, and I love her. Okay, so the next book, some of these books are going to be hyped. Okay, do not come at me for this, but I mean, I like to read some hype books mostly, but the next book is From Blood and Ash, and especially in this book, I feel like Poppy really did not want to fall in love with Hawk because of reasons at the end of the book, but she really was fighting the romance to the end because something big happened. But anyways, I'm sure you all know this book, but I'm just going to tell it in my own way, the synopsis. So this book is about our heroine Poppy, and she is this like maiden in this fantastical world. She's been hidden away because she has this special power, and she's been saved her whole life to do this special maiden thing. And so one night she decides she wants to have some fun because she's never really let out of the castle, and she goes to this like brothel thing, and she meets this guy, super mysterious. They accidentally like kiss, and then she never sees him again, and then she doesn't think she's never gonna see him again, but then he shows up as her freaking bodyguard, her new bodyguard, because her old bodyguard, something happened to him. And so all of these things keep happening. People are dying in the castle, and they don't know what's happening, and she's trying to figure it out, and it's so good. Hawk the bodyguard has something to do with it. This is an amazing, fantastical series. This was my first Jennifer L. Elmrenshot book, and I absolutely loved it, so highly recommend. Angst, oh my god, so good. Steam, so freaking good. Definitely go check this one out. Okay, so the next book is Pestilence by Laura Thalassa. This is a really interesting concept of a book, and I really liked it. So this whole series is called the Four Horsemen series, and each of the horsemen, pestilence, then war, then famine, and then death. And so the first book is Pestilence, and I really thought this book was a like, the character did not want to fall in love with the heroine. He really hates humans because he is killing them all off, and that's the reason why he's there, to kill them all off with his like sickness or whatever. And so our main character, she actually, like, the first scene of the book, she tries to kill him off, and it's so funny and amazing. And then she later finds out that he can't be killed, and he takes her hostage, and she has to travel with him all across the world, seeing people dying from his disease that he is, like, put on the world. And he has, like, saved her from that disease, like, she won't get it. But it's definitely hate to love. The hero is actually a virgin. And I really love this book, and I think Pestilence definitely does not want to fall in love with our main character because he's kind of disgusted with his feelings because she's a human, but then he kind of gets captured in her, and I really liked it. Okay, so the next book is Something in the Way by Jessica Hawkins. Y'all, oh my god, if you have not read this book, you need to. Like, absolutely freaking need to. This book is so amazing. The series is so amazing. So let me just tell you what it's about. So this is a love triangle-ish book where our heroine, she's actually 16 at the time. Nothing creepy or gross happens though. And this guy, it's spanned over years, and so it starts in the 1990s. And this guy is working construction on a house next door to her, and she sees him, and she is like, damn, I really like him. She instantly feels a connection to him. And then her sister sees him, and her sister tries to sink her claws into him, and she kind of does. And she saw him first, though. That's like kind of the whole thing of the book. She saw him first, not her sister. And so it's a love triangle between her, him, and her sister, and he does want to be with her, but there are reasons that he has to be with the sister at some points in the book, and then there are reasons that are just so annoying and you just want to like scream and throw this book across the room. But this is a series, a 4-book series. It's an amazing series. I loved it. Did not feel like it dragged on at all. I felt like it was very perfectly paced. And I just love this series. It is amazing. It's emotional. I cried. It's going to rip your heart out, but it's going to be an amazing ride on the way. Okay, so the next book is called Unconditional by QB Tyler. This book, our main character, her parents got murdered when she was young, and so the cop that was there, who was like checking the scene and stuff, she instantly found a connection with him when she was young, and so ever since then he's been her legal guardian. And so when she gets a little bit older, I think she's like 16 or 17, she's young though, this is definitely an age gap, definitely not a book for everyone, very taboo. She gets together with her legal guardian, and it's really good. I loved it. I read it in like a day. It was very entertaining. But definitely know that going in, age gap, taboo, but I really loved it. So go into the book with caution if you don't like taboo or books that kind of blur lines. Okay, so the next book is one of my all-time favorites ever, and that is Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley. This book is freaking fantastic. This is about Nino and Kiara is supposed to marry Nino, and she had gone through something really, really hard. She was sexually assaulted when she was young, and so she's always felt like she's been tainted and never good enough, or good enough to be a wife or a mother, and that's very important in the mafia world. Sorry, this is a mafia romance. Oh my god. I totally forgot to tell you guys that, but whatever. I'm telling you now. So, and she, on her wedding night, she is really freaked out, and she kind of tells Nino that, and tells her, she tells him what happened to her, and he's like, no, nothing's wrong with you. I'm gonna go kill the person that did this to you, because that's just not okay, and I just need to do this. And so he does, and he's just so protective of her, but he's very, in the beginning, he's very, very patient with her, but he definitely doesn't think he's good enough for her or that he will fall in love with her, and he was very hesitant about that, and he was just so patient and sweet. And I absolutely loved this book, and his character, I think, is one of the sweetest mafia characters I've ever read, like characters in a mafia book. But yes, I love Cora Riley, and this whole series is amazing. Okay, so this next book is called The Bridge Kingdom by Danielle L. Jensen. So this is a really interesting premise. I really loved this book. So our main character, she is one of 8 sisters, I think. I think it's 8 or maybe 5. I don't really remember. But anyways, something happens where all of her sisters die, and so there is this like pact where one of them would go in to one of the kingdoms and marry the king once they were old enough, and take over his kingdom. And so she's trying to gather intel while she's there, and she ends up falling in love with him, and it's super, super good. I loved it. Hate to love. And it was an amazing fantasy romance. I cannot wait to read the second book. I need to do that stat. But I really love this book, and it's really good. There's lots of twists and turns that you really don't expect, and I think you should definitely read it. It's pretty short. It's like 340 pages, and I loved it, so you should go read it. Okay, so 2 more books. So the next book is The Wrong Game by Candy Steiner. This is a sports-ish romance where our heroine, her husband just died, and there's a reason. It's emotional for her, but also he did something really bad to her before he died that she just couldn't get over, but she still kind of stuck with him till the end because she knew he was going to die. I don't want to give too much away, but anyway, she gets these seasonal tickets to the Chicago football team, and she has to find a date for each home game, and so she randomly goes into this bar, and the bartender is like, hey, I'll go on a date with you. And so they go on a date, and she really likes him, but her rules are only 1 date and 1 guy, with the same guy. And so she's kind of trying to do that. She's very stuck in her ways because she's afraid of getting hurt, and then he kind of has to plow through that to be with her. And I really loved both of these characters. There was a lot of emotion in this book, and I loved it so much. Candy Steiner is amazing at bringing the emotion and angst into her books, and I really enjoyed this one, and I really loved seeing the character development of Gemma, our main character. So definitely go check this out. I think you would really like it. It's super sweet and cute, and I really liked it. Okay, so the last book is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This copy is definitely worn, but it's because it's worn with love, because I love this book so freaking much. So I feel like a lot of people know this book already, but I just wanted to add it because I love it so freaking much. So our main character, Evelyn, she has been through a lot in her life, and she's always wanted to be a movie star, and so this is set in old Hollywood, and so she goes and makes her dreams come true, and during that she marries a bunch of guys, but she's really trying to cover up something that she's doing on the sides, that she's in a relationship with somebody, but in that time period it is deemed not well, you shouldn't be with this person because of societal standards. So in the present time, she is trying to hire this girl to write a book about her life, and so we're getting the story from Evelyn, but to the woman who's writing the book for her. And this book was just fantastic. There's so many emotions and just beautiful moments in this book, and just life lessons, and I love this book so much, and the characters. I love Evelyn. I hated Evelyn in this book too, but Evelyn just goes through so much and she makes some really poor decisions, but in the end you just feel so many different things for her. Sadness, happiness, but it's definitely one of the books I would highly recommend. And the reason why I put this on this list is that Evelyn really did not want to fall in love with the person she does because of what society would say, and she tried time and time again to not feel those feelings for the person that she did, but she just couldn't help it, and I really loved that. Okay, so that is the end of this recommendation video. I hope you enjoyed these recommendations, and I want to do some reading vlogs soon. I'm really excited. I'm trying to think what I want to do next. Maybe like a fantasy reading vlog, or reading a popular YouTuber, booktubers favorite books or something like that. But I just want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great night wherever you are, and I'll see you guys later.